Bushwhacks were some of the worst days I've ever had in the mountains, or life, really.
Whereas Panzer Mountain is totally opposite. It's a mountain on top of a crater.
I think the weather challenges on this incident were particularly difficult.
It was really the development of New York State. Catskills were responsible.
Now you're listening to Inside the Line, the Catskill Mountains Podcast.
All right. Welcome to episode 233. Yes, I messed up last time. Sorry. 233. Tonight, Laurie Rankin joins us and talk about more fire tower updates, the good and the bad. Hopefully we won't go too in the bad, but you never know where this podcast is going to go. We go in every sort of direction. Tad knows that.
Yeah, there's my sense is there's not a lot of good things to say about the news that Laurie has brought with her tonight.
True. There's a bunch of other good topics, you know.
That's not a reflection on her. She's just the messenger, if you will. So,
yes, unfortunately.
Stay tuned. Hear all about it.
Yeah, welcome, Laurie. Good to see you again. This is your third episode.
Yeah.
That's good to have you back on. So once again, forgive me for the episode mess up last time. I started off and said 233. It was actually 232. My bad. Tad wasn't on there to crack the whip and say, hey, you got it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to once again say that we have a live show going on this Sunday, August 16th at Bel Air Ski Center for the Climate for Climate race. We'll be starting around 8 o'clock because the race starts around 8:30. It's pretty early, but once again, I'll probably be there at like 6 o'clock. So just to set up and make sure everything's correct. It's going to be a little weird. I'm going to say this because we are not going to have a PA system projecting out into the crowd. Amy said they tried that last time and it didn't work out. So it's definitely going to be different, but I'm going to have a Zoom link and I'm going to have my laptop recording everything and have a Zoom link. So if anybody wants to just chime in where they're at, or maybe she said something about the Bel Air Ski Center putting it on their TVs and stuff. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. This is once again, just one thing that I was just like, fuck it, let's do it. Like, why not? What's going to be the worst that's going to happen? We're going to sound like crap. It's going to be cool. And we're going to hear people doing, 15 mile race and having them finish in 3 hours, which is insane. So also, once again, I'll be putting a Zoom link out there sometime. If you need it, if you're interested, let me know. I'll also put it on their thing. Also wanted to throw out there that there are shoe donations going on. Gently worn, used, or new shoes are accepted for donations for the Sneakers for Good. Funds raised from the Sneakers for Good will go to the Catskill Center for the climate event. So pretty cool stuff. Tad, I thought of this the other day. I think what we should have done was gotten your Jeep all packed up and taken it to the top and had the broadcast at the top. Do you think could withstand that drive up to there? That's pretty easy.
Yeah. Depends how wet or dry the surface is, but that's,
it's a walk in the park.
Yeah, it's made for going up stuff like that. The problem is, I haven't driven my Jeep since I pulled it into the garage after tearing up my shoulder. So
wasn't something also wrong with it? What happened with it before that you said that you had to change, you had to fix?
Every few years I replace the starter.
Okay.
Because with all the salt they put on the roads, for some reason my starter rots out, and I did that this spring, put a new starter on it and some other things. It's up there in mileage, so I keep up with it, but I'll say for the last 10 weeks it hasn't moved an inch.
Okay. Do you think now, Laurie, probably you've been up Bel Air Ski Center, and Tad, do you think the Tesla could make it up that?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Enough hard ciders, you wouldn't even have to leave the parking lot mentally. You'd be at the top summit of that mountain, with like a pair of skis on, driving your Tesla. Wouldn't make any difference to you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking about that. I'm like, wow, they have power up there. We could have had it like at the top and had the PA system going and people running by and just yelling at them and stuff when they run by.
Yeah. I don't know where the best place is to have that. I don't know what their setup is for the event. But it sounds like a good thing. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and it's a great cause. Hopefully it's not too little, too late. Climate for climate. It's also a good thing to donate shoes and sneakers. That's worthwhile, man. A lot of people walk around without appropriate footwear on. So
yeah,
sure.
I got a whole thing of that I'm going to bring along and see what I can donate because so cool.
And then I'm running a down here, Stosh. I'm running a fundraiser. You hear those canathons where people donate canned goods.
Uh-huh.
So down here, I'm having a canathon of sorts where people donate cans of IPAs. So there's an anonymous recipient that we're giving all the IPAs to. But if you want to just bring your full, no empties, of course, full recent vintage. Laurie, what's so funny? Why are you laughing? You think I'm joking? You think I'm joking?
Idea.
Yeah, it's a fucking great idea. Okay.
Laurie's got you and Tom did a challenge or something. What is it called?
We do views and brews.
Views and brews. So
you hike a mile somewhere, and then you visit a micro brew pub that serves food because you're going to be hungry and thirsty after that mile walk.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got that challenge out there for several states across the United States, including New York.
Wow. So how well followed, or how many participants do you have doing that? And do you have any way of tracking that, or is it just out there for people to do?
We have the records of all the finishers. We just had 2 Massachusetts finishers the other day.
Wow.
And there's not very many of them.
You got to promote it a little bit more then. I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
Views.
So where do we find out more about this?
Viewsandbrews.com.
Okay, well that makes sense.
All right.
Check it out.
Yeah, definitely. So once again, Tad, if you're going to be able to make it, bring your IPAs and stuff like that for Tad to test. He's going to test every single one of them. And if you have some hard ciders, I will test every single one of them as well. Luckily, we both have wives to call that can pick us up. Mm-hmm. And if not, I'll just hike up and down the mountain several times until it wears off. So
yeah, well, I might have to get a ride over if I show up. So
I'll have to test you, take you.
Yeah, I'll have to drink. I can drink anything I want without even hiking a mile.
Nice. So show up if you want. I mean, come say hi. We could have, we could have an interview with you on your recent hikes and stuff like that. If you join, so it'd be cool to see anybody. Get some free stickers, free pens.
And Stosh, if I don't show, Stosh will be giving away $20 bills to the first 200 people that come up to the table. So remember that. If I'm not around, if you don't see me, first 200 people, $20 each. All you got to do is hand them a hard cider in exchange.
All right.
If I'm there, you got to bring the IPA. Okay.
True. It works out. Yeah. So another thing that's going on is September 5th from 8:30 to 9 p.m. There is the Lighting of the Fire Towers event. So Laurie's going to be here talking about it tonight, but I just wanted to give a shout out in the beginning to let everybody know about that because it's actually really cool. It's really cool to see, to night hike is something else. It's a whole different feeling and such. But to see the fire towers lit up, a couple times that I've done it 3 times now. Giant Ledge was by mistake. I went on Giant Ledge by mistake. I went up Mount Unsiantha once, and then I did Bramley last year. So the Giant Ledge by mistake was pretty fun because we had a search and rescue that day, and we were called out to Wittenberg. And they ended up flying a helicopter in. We went out to Giant Ledge, and I'm sitting there staring. I'm like, why the hell are these just dots sitting over there not moving? And it was the fire tower event, and we saw Tremper, Hunter, and Overlook from Giant Ledge, so you can see all of them. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So Laurie's going to chat about this tonight. You can see a lot of it like from anywhere. Just pull over on the side of a road and see maybe Overlook and Hunter somewhere. Maybe that's going to be tough. But Unsianta, several areas, Laurie, you might have some good info on this, on where to, like, if you don't want to hike, you can go to.
Yes. And I'll tell you, one of the best nights we had was when people hiked up to Bel Air. And we were on a Balsam Lake lighting up the tower, and they were flashing like Morse code and at the same time texting us. And I think there was a group of a dozen hikers or so that did that.
So
Wow.
everybody wants to know, were you able to decipher what they were signaling in Morse code?
Not until I got the text.
Yeah.
And that's cool. So from Bel Air, you could see Balsam Lake, Bramley, Mount Unsianta, and Hunter.
Actually, I believe it's Mount Tremper and Overlook. I am not certain about Hunter, but yes, you can see Mount U and Bramley as well.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
that's a good location.
Yeah, and then you can, if you're at the top, you can just go to the backside and you'll be able to see Balsam Lake Mountain, right?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow. Yeah. All right. That might be, and that's not a bad hike. That's an easy hike up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some picnic tables up there.
Yeah. Let's just camp up there. Tad, you can drive up, right?
Yeah. You're a Tesla. I can do that.
It might work. It might work. But once again, we'll talk about that more about tonight. Saturday, September 5th, 8:30 to 9 p.m. I'll be going somewhere. I'm not sure yet. I love Bramley, so if anybody wants to join me in Bramley, but now that Laurie has put that into my head about Bel Air, that might be an actually fantastic idea. It's probably the same exact hike to go up from Bramley to Bel Air is probably the same distance and elevation gain. So I would say a little bit better. So another thing I wanted to bring up in our last, I'll bring this up first before I go into my spiel. I wanted to say that our last guest, Haley Heinrich, does not have a sponsor for running. So if anybody knows any sponsors or stuff that want to sponsor this amazingly talented young woman that is killing trail running in the Northeast, someone get her a freaking sponsor now, because she is awesome. She's fun. She freaking rips it up. She got the fastest. She was the fastest female this year in the escarpment run, and she's killed a lot of other races in the Northeast. So get her a sponsor. So
let's talk about her for a second, because I wasn't on that episode. I didn't check out her Insta feed until when that episode of the podcast, I think it was episode 232, Sash, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
One of those ones.
Laurie, am I correct? It was number 232, the last podcast.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're reporting. So I logged onto her Instagram page, and let me tell you, man, she rips going downhill, okay? There's like no brakes on her. It's just full out and flowing downhill. It was amazing to watch her go downhill, just crazy fast. It was a great episode, of course. But if you really want to see what she does and appreciate what she does, go to her Instagram feed and watch her videos or reels, stories, whatever they are, of her sprinting downhill. It was amazing. Did you watch any of those, Stosh?
I've seen like 2 or 3, and it's
yeah, you got to watch more. Yeah,
it's basically like a what the fuck kind of moment.
Yeah, no, she's she's just like almost like tiptoeing on the rock. She's so agile and so fluid. It's very impressive. I was like amazed how fast she did this.
She's got amazing stats, like a lot. She's had 6 first place finishes in New Hampshire races and New York and stuff. It's just insane. So somebody get her a freaking sponsor.
Yeah, definitely. So Hudson North, it's a good person for you to sponsor. Stosh can be the manager, like manage which Hudson North brews they bring to the event to make sure they have the right beverage for the territory. But yeah, get her a Hudson North sponsorship. That would work out well. And
like a beer named after her, a cider named after her that you got to down in a matter of a certain amount of time. It's an honor for her, because Jesus.
Yeah.
So
very good.
On to the last somewhat topic. Laurie and I have been discussing this for a while now. And Tad, I'd like to bring you in on this because you've been hiking for the Catskills in a while. You know, it's something that's become a reality, and it's not the herd paths, it's not the informal trails. It is something that has just been on the back burner for a while, and that is our viewpoints in the Catskills. So I have noticed as I hike a lot, as I'm a big viewpoint guy, is that our viewpoints are definitely diminishing, that they are gone. Some of them are completely lost, some of them are gone, and some of them are very close to being on their way. Like Tad said earlier, that we've had, you know, a lot of rain, a lot of growth, but in the Catskill like state park master plans and the unit management plans, they are allowed to maintain the viewpoints to a certain extent. So if, once again, it's been 11 years since I've started hiking the Catskills. My first visit was Balsam, and that viewpoint was huge, blew me away. Nothing was obstructing it. If you go right now, if you go tomorrow and go up to Balsam, there is a very, very little viewpoint, probably not even the size of a window right now, where it used to be where you could stand there and have a ledge to yourself of looking. If you go up from Barnum Road to Thomas Cole, I've been maintaining that for 11 years now. And I don't maintain the viewpoints. I can't do that, so don't blame me. All right. Almost all viewpoints up on the way, besides like the Camel's Hump viewpoint somewhat, are gone. They're obstructed. There's a view on Claudel's Hill. There's two views right below that little scramble, or right above that little scramble. Then you get up to Camel's Hump. There's two viewpoints on there, and that's going away. The Camel's Hump one is starting to diminish. The other one that looks over Thomas Cole is starting to diminish because there's a big tree. And then there's one on your way up to Thomas Cole that you used to be able to see Devil's Path and Camel's Hump and stuff, and it's gone. It's completely gone. Today, I went up Indian Head Mountain because I knew there was viewpoints that were gone as well. And the summit view and the second viewpoint going east are almost completely gone. And like I said, in the Catskill management master plan and several unit management plans, which, to be honest, I've read haven't been updated since some of the 80s, early 90s, put in a budget to actually maintain these viewpoints. So the big question is, like, what can we do? What should we do? Like, the viewpoints we're losing comparing to the viewpoints that are being maintained or created, which is very few, is rapidly like being outgrown and stuff like that. So our viewpoints, we're losing our viewpoints. And I'm trying to think, should I start one of those change.org things and do a petition to get like some attention, some signatures and stuff? Me and Kelsey, we're talking about this as well. She would like to help. And it's just, Laurie, we've talked about this. Like, is there anything we can do? Like, you've been hiking in the Catskills for over like 40, 50 years now, right?
Yeah.
And what can you say?
I have a few different thoughts on it, and one is that I understand the lack of resources that may be out there, but we have got fantastic volunteers out there with hearts of gold, and they would step forward, like yourself. When you're maintaining a section of trail, you just do a little clipping. It doesn't have to be anything drastic. You don't need to bring a chainsaw in and clear cut. It can be part of routine maintenance, and that volunteer maintainer can be given the proper tools to do it and the proper instruction on how to do it. And the other thing that I think that we have seen some experience with in that is that you will see vigilante clearing of these viewpoints. People will see that it is marked on a map, and they'll go clear it. And I think we would be much better off if we were to really make this a priority with the DEC and the volunteers that are out there, and make sure that, like I said, you don't have to go out there and clear cut it. You can go out there and you can start a little snip and nip this year. Next year you do a little bit more snip and nip kind of thing. The reason why it is in that master plan is because the hiking public would like to see them maintained, And at some point, the state of New York agreed to that. That's why it's in there. So why aren't we doing it?
Yeah, I thought the same thing as well. Proper training.
Yeah.
And, I have 4 viewpoints that I'd love to clip back and have everybody enjoy that are on the map, that have been on the map. The funny thing is I looked for the unit management plan for over there, and it just has Wyndham. It doesn't even have the Blackhead range for the unit management plan. So they have a lot of updating to do, actually. Like the Big Indian one was from like 1989, I think.
Yeah.
Yikes. So, I mean, I agree with you totally, Laurie. What about Tad? What about you? What are your thoughts? Are you a viewpoint kind of guy? Do you like that?
Well, people who know me know that, I necessarily won't go out of my way to check out a marked viewpoint.
True.
But yeah, viewpoints, definitely strike a chord with me as well as many other hikers. A lot of people kind of just do it for the viewpoints. But I previously have said that if the DEC wants to divert traffic from the higher mountains that don't have trails, like Lone, Rocky, etc., create some viewpoints on those mountains between 3,000 and 3,500 feet, put them on a map, viewpoints on trails, and you're going to get people that start going there and get some of the traffic out of the heavily trafficked area. And just look at how much use Giant Ledge gets for the viewpoints it has. So the DEC can kind of spread the hiking traffic around just by creating some viewpoints. And arguably at one point in time, you had nothing but viewpoints in the Catskills, and it was in its most wild state back then. So I don't really view it as being all that damaging to go out and do viewpoints. It's probably more of when and how you do it that would be more damaging. So I surely support it, and we could go through the DEC budget for the Catskills and probably cut some fat here and there and have more than enough money to restore all of the existing marked viewpoints and probably create 20 more on trails or just off trail by a little stub access, and give people the viewpoints they want. And maybe we could go so far as to have Giant Ledge 1, Giant Ledge 2, Giant Ledge 3, Giant Ledge 4, so we can really give meaning to giant ledges. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you're saying. I've actually heard that some of the viewpoints towards the end of Giant Ledge are being obstructed now.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Yeah. Panther Mountain, the summit is totally gone. The summit view. So now you got to walk towards Fox Hollow to get to that viewpoint, which is starting to be somewhat obstructed. Like they did that the old viewpoint they updated up on Slide. That's the one I can remember. Somebody on Cheryl did that themselves. The DEC did not do that one. Mm-hmm. I know of an existing viewpoint over on Balsam Cap that somebody took into their own hands that I think it's actually phenomenal. It's one of the best. But it takes a lot of effort to get there. But like, it just stinks because like you could take all of us volunteers out on an expedition with something with the tools and train us. And, I would be freaking so excited to be able to do this that, it would just be so much fun. But to be honest, since doing this since 2015, I've gotten one training on this. And everything else was basically, I learned it myself somewhat. I got one training that was in like 2018.
For trail maintenance?
Yeah. Yeah. And that was it. I mean, that was down in Kingston. And some of these people, they just kind of like, just give them the trail and then they say, have at it. And I'm just like, what? Really? So
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you didn't have any training out on an actual trail in the Catskills?
Nope.
Yeah, the same for me. I was a trail maintainer for years. I never had any training.
Yeah, it's thing. I mean, once again, Laurie, you are right. They're pressed for people in time. I can remember years ago when we had one of the great foresters, Ian Dunn. He was one of the most passionate people I've ever dealt with DEC that actually loved the forest and stuff, and taught well, wanted to create new trails. We created that new trail on Tysteniak. over there with him. He was fantastic. It just, I haven't seen a forester out in the trails in a long time. Haven't heard of a forester, being mentioned, the collaboration and stuff like that. I mean, the Rangers is I've seen the Rangers, but like I've never been out in the trail with training for a ranger of how to clear a water bar, or I know how to trim just because I've read about it, but like it kind of sucks, and thank you shout out to every one of our volunteers out there.
Yeah.
You guys are freaking killing it. We just need more collaboration with not just the DEC, but with the Catskill Center and with the New Jersey Trail Conference. Like I've never collaborated with any one of them ever to get trail maintenance or stuff like that. So hopefully somebody hears something and we can get something going. We can start about these viewpoints, but I'm going to keep researching this. I have things down. If somebody has pictures of like before and after, I do need pictures from a bunch of different places of before. So
The viewpoints.
yeah, Tad, if you got any, let me know.
I got a few. I got a few photos.
I gotta dig deep.
So while we're talking about trail maintenance, viewpoints, and Stosh and his trail maintenance experience, and listening to episode, God, I think it was, I forget the number, 232. That's what comes to mind. Episode 232. You had done trail maintenance just before recording that, didn't you?
Correct.
Yeah, and are you able to tell us that? Because I don't remember you saying on the episode, but what kind of gear did you bring with you to do trail maintenance? Like tweezers, like a pair of hand clippers? What'd you have going on there, if you're permitted to say?
Permitted. I had just clippers, like small clippers. And then I have, it's not even called a sai. Is it a ser? What is it?
Oh, a sickle.
Sickle, sort of like a sickle. It's like
like the old timers used to cut weeds and stuff.
Yeah, but
or hay. Yeah. Okay.
On my section, that sucks. Because it is from Camel's Hump to kind of like the elevation start of Thomas Cole. It's just nothing but vegetation.
Yeah.
So every time I have done that, I've gotten massive amount of blisters, even with gloves on and stuff, because I got to go up one side and then back down the other. I mean, it's not long, but it's a lot of thick ferns, grass, vines, stuff like that. And it's a pain in the ass. So I might have or might not taken other gear up to help myself out.
Okay.
And it helped out a lot. It made it a lot easier. It was a fucking hell of a haul to going up there. I gotta admit, it was a lot of weight.
Are you done until the fall? Now
I am.
that? Yeah. Okay.
There wasn't any blowdown. There wasn't. It was once again like I know Rip Van Winkle does from Camel's Hump down. They got some work to do on that little area, but once again, like it's tough. It really is tough work by hand. Like I do have a shitty area, but I love that area. You got to admit that one area is just absolutely stunning with just the forest and stuff. And every time I'm up there, I'm always looking for a bear to pop out in that one the part of the Cole between Camel's Hump and Thomas Cole. Just, I don't know why.
Yeah, that's a nice area. That's actually the trail segment that I bushwhacked up to on the 30th. Yeah.
Then
when I was pushed and fell down on a rock and hurt myself. They're still looking for the person who pushed me.
It's going to be a long time, buddy.
Yeah.
There's a bear.
Yeah, could be. Or two-legged mountain lion. All right.
Once again, I'd be willing to create, like, enhance those viewpoints little by little. Yeah, once again, like in the plan, they do have like limitations of what you can do. Certain height or certain, what do they call, DB diameter, breast height or something like that?
Yeah, breast height diameter.
Yes. So, good. There's a lot of stuff to research, and I've been writing stuff down. So if anybody else wants to chime in, let me know.
Yeah. So the fact that the DEC ostensibly hasn't done anything to maintain these viewpoints is really like a de facto decision on their part to do away with them, right? And then they become a point where the trees have grown to be so large that they can just stand back and say, well, they're too big now to cut down.
Yeah.
Because they haven't done anything for 10, 15, maybe 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can see it up on the slide viewpoint. If you look over that ledge, you can see how big of trees they had to cut just to make, I mean, Slide is one of the most popular destinations. So they're like, oh, we gotta.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. So I'll get the wheels turning, the ball rolling, and we'll get this going. So thank you, Laurie, for joining in. Laurie, I know you're going to be probably jumping in on this. I mean, you jump in on everything in the Catskills. You are a big part of the Catskills, and we thank you for that.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So how about we get on to the amazing people that support the show, like Chris Garbian, Eric Rosario, Oscana Nichols, John Comiskey, Mikey S., Desert City Radio, Henry Burmeister, Vicky Ferreira, Jeff Jotz, David Oliver, who probably won't listen to this, Betsy A., Denise W., Vanessa, and Jim C. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Love you guys. Also, our amazing sponsors of the show is like Outdoor Chronicles Photography. Molly specializes in adventure couple photography, and she'll immortalize your moments amidst the stunning landscapes of the Catskills, Adirondacks, and White Mountains. She'll craft timeless images that reflect unique bond in nature's grandeur. Embark on an unforgettable photographic journey with Outdoor Chronicles Photography. Don't hesitate to get a hold of Molly on every single platform. Also, if you want to discover the wilderness, you should check out Trailbound Project. Their expert-led hiking and backpacking education programs offer unparalleled outdoor experiences. Whether you're a beginner or seasoned adventurer, join them to learn essential skills, explore stunning trails, and connect with nature. Start your journey today with Trailbound Project and unlock the wonders of the great outdoors. So, who's having something to drink tonight? Is it just me? Laurie, you got something?
I am. No beer tonight, though. I got turned on to this very refreshing summer drink of cucumber vodka with some cran raspberry juice and seltzer. Really, really good on a warm day.
Damn straight. That is nice. That sounds good. Laurie's going to be passed out by the time she gets her interview. All right, I like it. Tad, how about you, sir?
I am trying to find my audio settings here.
It's been a while, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I'm so rusty. Hold on. Noise removal, high, low. Okay. All right. Now the one-handed podcaster can go and get his.
Take your time, buddy.
His drink out. Oh, this is almost like therapy. Okay. Here we go.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Woo! That was some effort. It's the first time yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Me as well. Thank you, Tad. I hope that didn't kill you too much, to hurt you too much.
I might have to go call 911.
Yeah, Laurie, Tad just had a surgery for his rotator cuff. So, yeah, he's
Good luck with that recovery.
Yeah,
he's killing.
I'm heading into the really, really, really fun part now, where you get a therapist, and twice a week they're allowed to torture you.
Yeah.
So that's for the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
Tad, you're going to pull through this, and next time your next hike report will be like, oh yeah, I bushwhacked up Wittenberg and Cornell, and then I did the Burroughs Range 3 times, and then
my next hike in the Catskills, I'm driving your Tesla to the top of some mountain, saying "Booyah!" That's what I'm going to do. Maybe after that, I'll do some hiking, but
I'll allow it.
Yeah, you put it out there, so yeah, we'll put some all-terrain tires on it so we don't get stuck.
So what did you have, Tad, by the way? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. So this is one of these things where all day long, I was meaning to get out and get a 4-pack of something, in part to have something like interesting and that I haven't had before tonight on the show. But when I went to the I didn't get out today. And when I did go to the fridge, I opened it up, and alls I had was an Industrial Arts Torque Hazy Double IPA. Laurie,
nice.
You like IPAs?
Oh, I love IPAs. They're my favorite.
Are you familiar with the Industrial Arts?
Absolutely good stuff there.
Yeah. So I guess the moral of the story is if you only have one IPA in your refrigerator, when you need an IPA. This is one hell of a good IPA to have there. Okay.
Nice.
Because it's like just really juicy, tropical. They say it's sticky. Yeah, I'd say it's sticky. The flavor sticks. And then for those who really, really want to know how good it is, yes, of course, it is 8.2%.
Well, you said
Nice.
it's a double.
What's that?
Did you say it's a double?
Yeah, it's the Torque Hazy Double. So it's not only a double, it's a hazy double. So I'm down for that.
Nice.
Yeah, that and a couple ibuprofens, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Nice. Well, what do you
All
think
right,
I'm
Stosh.
having? What do you think I'm having?
You're having milk and cookies.
Very
No?
close. It tastes just
You're
like
doing
it's-
shots of Bacardia. Coke on the side.
No.
Am I getting warmer? All right, my last guess is a hard cider.
Correct. Wow, you're good. It's
I'm
$20
brilliant.
to you. Good old Hudson North peach mango. I'm finishing up the peach mango. I got some new ones today from Tops. You know, that horrible, disgusting store in Tannersville. God, it was disgusting. There was cockroaches and dead fish all over the place.
The meat was red.
Did you hear about that, Laurie?
Yes.
I heard they were selling iceberg lettuce from Taylor Farms.
I know, right? Ridiculous. So
How
get the
dare
runs. I was going to do a kind of like a recording of me going in there and just saying, "Wow, this looks like a normal grocery store."
What
Oh
are
my
these
God.
red? What are these red things? Tomatoes or tomatoes?
Yeah, I usually get these delivered to me. I don't have to come here and get them. Yeah, but got a good old Hudson North for next week and stuff, or actually for climate. So good. Laurie's having some good old mixed drink. Tad's having an IPA, and I'm having a hard cider. We're all over the place with this. That's good.
Yeah. Well, we have the bases covered.
Rock on. All right, so let's move on to Are You Really Outdoors? So mention the podcast, one of your hikes through social media. We'll talk about it on the show. Tag us by typing at ITL Catskill MTM podcast on your post. Also, let me know if you're doing it on Facebook and I don't get you because sometimes it doesn't notify me and stuff. So Chrissy G was in Spain biking on the Col du Tourmalet, then did a hike in Bargaras, if I said that correctly. And then she did a bunch of other stuff too. Sorry, Chrissy. I'm trying to keep up with all your tags. She said she did like a biking expedition and woke up the next day with a laceration in her eye.
Oh, really? Wow, that's awful.
I'm going to reach out and ask her if she's okay because like that was crazy. Like woke up with that, but she is up in Spain in the Great Pyrenees and stuff like that, doing some awesome stuff. So,
The Col du Tourmalet is
there you go.
Yeah, is a one of the just classics of the Tour de France.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, it's a mountain like that on the Tour de France. It's a legit mountain. So she's obviously doing like a cyclist's bucket list, and also looks like a hiker's bucket list for it's like a 2-for-1. They're having a great trip over there.
True.
I hope they're not getting any of that smoke from the forest fires they've had over there. I don't know if it affected that region or not.
Oh, wow.
I do know that they shook up the Tour de France the last couple of days because of the forest fire smoke.
Wow. I didn't know it was that crazy over there too. So,
damn. It's like the worst they've had.
The whole world is on fire.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's climate change where we don't have like, normal rain events, it seems, during the summer. We go through these brief periods, when I say brief, 1.5 to 3 weeks of really no rain. And then you get these afternoon torrential downpours, almost like you're in southern Florida, that they'll blow through your area, but 5 miles away, nobody's getting rain. And, it's for people with grassy lawns like Sean Iannucci and myself, we get upset when our lawns turn brown. But when you're a farmer and you're growing stuff and you don't get rain for 2 to 3 weeks, and then you get a big downpour, it really isn't good for you.
Yeah.
So, I feel for the farmers,
Yeah.
especially the ones that are growing the apples that go into the cider.
Correct.
Eventually, all cider drinkers, Laurie, will be drinking beer. I'm just saying.
It's going to be tough. I might have to try one this weekend.
Brew for climate is going to be beer.
Ooh, that sounds like a new one, Ted. I will write that down. Brew for climate. Nice, nice. Moving on, Brad Labradante went up Hunter from Becker Hollow, did East Rocks Ox Hollow, and then back up Hunter and down Becker Trail. So nice, good old, like lollipop. Would you call that? Yeah, the lollipop. So that was good. Scott, Catskill Mountain Brewed, did some mud bogging up on Catskill High Peak with John, aka Foolish Not Stupid. And sorry, John, for missing your post last week, but your profile was private and you unlocked it recently. So now, once again, seeing John, Foolish Not Stupid, did Catskill High Peak with Scott and Zorro, almost halfway for his single season grid, and previously did the Hunter Mountain Loop and also the 9. So once again, sorry I missed your tags, John. So Foolish Not Stupid, cool. I like that name. Danielle, Witch in the Wilderness, was at the John Rob Lead to doing Hunter Mountain. That is actually a viewpoint that hasn't obstructed yet, but it's on its way to. So
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, those, once again, it's the small trees that are just sprouting up super quick because of the crazy rain. They're just like going crazy. And that's an incredible sunset viewpoint. That's one of my favorites. So
yeah, it's just off the trail. Many people just hike by it, not knowing it's there. It's a great view spot. Danielle was also, it looked like she spent a few days up there. I don't know how many days, but she was at the Spruce Tin Inn.
Oh yeah.
Taking in the surrounds. So yeah, she had, it looks like a pretty cool vacation, if you will, in the Catskills. So kudos to her and her companion.
Yeah, Danielle, reach out to me. I want to hear how the Spruce Inn is and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool place.
They have I think they call it bar and bed. Bed and bar. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah,
that's one of the few places that's a bar in Spruceton besides. I mean,
yes. Hey, I'll say this: if you wanted to be kind of in a remote area, but not so remote that you didn't have neighbors, Spruceton Road is a pretty cool road. You know, it looks like there's a decent community along that road with the benches along the way, the community center. There's a post office down there. You got the Westkill Brewery. Van Duzen's is just around the corner. So it's not like living in Woodstock or maybe Phoenicia, but Spruceton Road, Westkill, looks pretty cool out there.
And it's a goddamn scenic road. Yeah. It's a beautiful road.
I'll also add that at the Spruceton Inn, if you stop and ask Casey, they will let you do a bushwhack from Westkill down to their property.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice little thing.
Yeah.
So that would be like just directly down the middle of Westkill. Just cool.
Yeah. There's actually a sliver of public access just over the bridge. Go right over the bridge over the Westkill proper, and off to the left is just a little sliver that lets you get up to Westkill.
I mean, that would be still nice with doing it from the Spruceton Inn and come back and have a shot when you're done.
Yeah, have a cold one. Yeah, there's
we did.
The couple that had the really cool barn. Remember the cool barn right next to the Spruceton Inn with all the signs on it that has recently fallen down. Yeah, one year they picked me up hitchhiking out to where I was starting, and they invited me over to their place afterwards for burgers and beers. So I took them up on the beer, but not the burgers. I'm not a beef guy.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Yeah. So, I'll say every time I went to hitchhike on Spruceton Road, I've gotten a ride.
Nice.
So,
it's a cool community once again.
Yep.
Todd Tebold Outdoors was up at North Point and Pitching Point Loop down in the Hudson Valley area. Jen Bowen 5309 did Balsam and Eagle with John Foolish Not Stupid. Good to see you guys again. I hiked with them previously, so I probably should have had them on the Instagram that I should know of them. But once again, it was private, so it's good to see them. I hiked with them doing Scott's, his finish on Panther, his 420 grid, and his single season, his quadruple finish or whatever the hell it was. It was insane. Like, Scott's awesome. He's incredible. And speaking of Scott, he was back in the Adirondacks. He knocked off Colvin and Blake, said it was an easy day for him. So he's probably going to do like 25 peaks in a matter of 4 hours again. So
yeah, it looks like he's having a great summer getting out there hiking up a storm.
Hell yeah.
Hiking all over the place. Good for him.
Yeah, he's all over the place. Last but not least, Andy Brownski did a paddle on two tiny lakes in Harriman, Lake Ostaki and Lake Scananati. Did I say it right?
Close enough for me. I wouldn't know the difference.
Scanatatia. So I'll get called out by David Perez. But he also did Black Rock Forest Preserve to kick off some more of his Downstate 28, which I hear a lot of people are enjoying. So
yeah, that's great. And I've actually hiked at Black Rock Forest Preserve. Hiked and mountain biked there.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm actually planning on going back. What's that?
There's a fire tower there.
Is there? I don't remember seeing that at the Black Rock Forest, but part of my recovery hike program, I'm gonna get over there because, as I remember from years ago, the roads through there are very manageable. So
yes,
nice.
Do that. Yeah,
cool. Thanks everybody for tagging us. Really appreciate it. I hope you're getting out there and having a good time and leaving no trace. So also, if you think we're doing a good job and you want to show us some support, buy us a hard coffee or hard cider. Buy us a hard coffee. Buy us a coffee, hard cider on buymeacoffee.com. Rate the show. 5 stars only would be the best. So who wants to do previous hikes? Tad, what have you been up to?
So
getting a recovery.
My new standard is going over to Mohonk Preserve Saturday, Sunday, doing the Undercliff Road. I'll call it. It's a carriage road. And other connecting carriage roads, most mornings I head over to the town park and do laps around the town park, which is the height of excitement for me. But on weekends, when I have more time, I do get over to Mohonk Preserve. It's amazing how few people are over there super early. They generally are rolling in when I'm coming out, around 9:45, 10 o'clock. The places during, their peak time, full. There's the parking lots are full. There's a lot of people there. But I have been visiting this issue of what is a hike. And so I got a message, well, what's a hike versus a walk? And so, Laurie, I got a message from Erica Miranda, who offered the following, and I'm going to ask you, Laurie, if this is what makes a walk into a hike.
Okay.
And according to Erica, but I hope she's listening because she obviously knows what she suggested, is the Rubicon that separates the two. But a walk becomes a hike when you're hiking someplace that you can pee outdoors. That's it. Yeah. So I wondered if, what's that, Laurie? What do you think?
I don't know. When you're desperate, it'll work anywhere.
Could be, yeah.
So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll have to think on that, Erica.
Yeah, but don't push it. I mean, don't be walking through the Tops parking lot in Tannersville and turn it into a hike, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
Yeah. And then Stosh, this brings me to, I don't know if this is like a bitch or just an observation, but I haven't been in the Catskills since May 30th. And we're not going to talk about why I haven't been in the Catskills since May 30th, because it's kind of a sore subject. But the one thing I haven't seen, I haven't noticed people posting this really. I haven't heard you talking about it. And I really haven't seen other people talking about this. Nettles. Right? Am I wrong? I'm out for the season. And is it like there's no nettles this year? Why is nobody talking about the nettles? Are they out with the same ferociousness that they are other years in August, where they're biting, they're just growling at you? Yeah, the others are. I thought of that today. That, geez, nobody's posting pictures of nettles. Nobody's talking about nettles. Is it not a thing anymore? Did the DEC spray for nettles?
Nice.
Did the emerald ash borer decide to eat all the nettles? I mean, I'm just, the woolly adelgid, are they attacking the nettles? I'm not sure. I'm just wondering, what's going on out there with the nettles. So that's it. That's all I've got to say about hiking, walking, and peeing in the Tops parking lot. That's fun.
Nice. Laurie, how about you? What have you been up to?
Yesterday was Bramley with grandson and daughter-in-law. That's the first time they've been up there since the tower was put up. They thought it was great, and both of them, despite it being 80 feet tall, went right to the top.
Awesome.
It's in our family's blood to do so. And Saturday we braved the crowds and we did Panther.
Ooh,
Cool.
Yeah.
and your thoughts, please.
So I always I think it's really important to remember that we were all first timers out there once upon a time, and Giant Ledge is like the perfect place to see the first timers and to try to see it with their eyes. And I got to tell you, there's been a lot of those heavy downpours, the washout along the edge of the parking lot, which is, way too small. That was really bad. The privy was so bad, there was no way I would ever consider using that. The trail's 20 feet wide, maybe 30 feet wide in places.
Wow.
There is a new roof on the kiosk, but it looks like a beautiful roof, but the whole thing is tipping over because it's so top heavy that I'm sure it'll be on the forest floor very soon.
Yeah.
And the trail register box is also tipping, and it hasn't been maintained in so long that the stenciling on the front that says please sign in is completely gone. And when you open the box, it's just all graffiti inside. And so, welcome to the Catskills. Please take as good a care of this place as we do. Message is not the one we should be sending.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad.
And I was also quite surprised. I know we started on this, but I was also quite surprised at how much some of the viewpoints on Giant Ledge really are growing in. I was really noticeable on Panther the last couple times I've been there, but maybe it's just this year with all the rain and the growth. But even on Giant Ledge, they're growing in quite a bit.
Yeah.
So Laurie, the info that our listeners want to know, what time did you show up to the parking lot and how full was it?
Good question. We were there a little before 8.
Okay.
And of course, we parked down the road.
So the parking lot was already full before 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you also, Tad, I don't know, you don't have Facebook, but Tom posted those pictures of the idiots parking. Instead of parking in, they parked sideways.
Yeah. 2
cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that took up, almost 2.5 parking spots?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's I mean, once again, like you said, Laurie, some of this is their first times. And it's kind of, it does suck. You're looking at the kiosk that's leaning, and, Tad and I could have got 20 volunteers to throw that thing up and do a great job, but it took them months to do that. And now it was even like Boy Scouts did it or something like that. So,
yeah.
And
it's really a shame that it's wasn't installed.
The width in some certain places, once again, like you said, is absolutely massive. People don't want to step on the rocks or something, or they go around the rocks and they're just too far.
It's the mud holes.
It sucks.
They walk around the mud holes and they just keep making the trail wider and wider as you go.
But they do amazing work over on Indian Head for some reason. But the popular areas, Indian Head is for us lovers that, can actually handle the mud and know how to navigate through the mud. But Giant Ledge, when they have their Nikes on or something like that, they don't want to hit the mud. They'll avoid it any way possible.
Yeah, so. There were a lot of white shoes, and I call them shoes, not boots. And they were still white as they were coming back down. I was impressed, which means they were nowhere near the trail.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks. But once again, like the Giant Ledge is a great introduction, but we need to have a better introduction, like you said.
But so if I'm a first timer and I read about this place, Giant Ledges, or is it Giants?
Giants Ledges.
Giants Ledges.
Ledges of the Giants, something like that. What everybody else says.
Next to this place where you can go see a meteor in the Catskills. So if I'm a first timer, I'm driving my Tesla up there because that's what most of them drive. I'm driving my Tesla. I get to the hairpin. I park wherever I want because there's no striping there. And I get there really early and I start walking out. It's like, I don't know. I don't know that I'm not supposed to walk around these mud holes, these puddles. True. There's no signage. There's a very low level of integration of leave no trace and trail etiquette at the trailhead for newbies and first timers. And what I do remember in those areas and Slide, the thing that really grates on me is the people that bring those little doggy do bags with them, and they go through the trouble of picking up their doggy do and tying it off and carrying it with them and carrying it with them and carrying it with them. And then when they get back to the trailhead, what do? They drop it there, right? Because even though the DEC doesn't have the time to maintain the kiosk, to maintain the sign-in register, to maintain the trailhead, they do have a crew that goes around every night and picks up those doggy do bags.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
The dog do ferry. Yeah.
Yeah. The dog do ferry. See, that's why Laurie's on. I never knew there was a dog do ferry. I'm going to get a dog do ferry t-shirt. I'm going to put a dog do ferry doggy do bag under my pillow tonight. Will the ferry come and take it, Laurie?
Sure.
Okay.
You
all right.
Think that,
I'm going to tell my wife that Laurie told me to do this.
Nice. Yeah, it stinks. So, like, once again,
it stinks. Stosh wraps in one word. It stinks.
We have a lot of great volunteers, once again, that kick in, or people like, organizations like us or the Catskill 3500 Club and, the Forest Fire Lookout Association to dedicate these times to improve this. But it's just New York State doesn't want to do that. They don't want to let us help out. They just want everything to be budgeted and to be paid for and stuff. And it sucks. So maybe it's time to fucking rebel and we do this shit ourselves. What are they going to do? Burn it down?
Yeah. I'm fully capable now. One armed to take on the DEC.
When these people created their own viewpoints, did they grow new trees? No. Let's go build our own kiosk and stuff. I actually, if you don't mind moving on.
What about your hike? You have a hike, Stosh?
Yeah, so today I did the Indian Head loop. Starting with the kiosk, the book hasn't been, there's like 2 pages in the book now. And they were from back in June. Like, people are writing on the inside of the book and stuff. Nothing to do with that. I mean, that's disappointing. The trail is fantastic. They have awesome new rocks in the middle of mud spots, in the spots where there wasn't even mud. Absolute fantastic trail. I forgot how easy going up Indian Head from Pico or Jimmy Dolan Notch is. I thought it was, I remember I was like, man, it was a little bit harder last time, but I guess that was because it was the ice. But it wasn't bad. But the reason why I did this is because I wanted to go look at their viewpoints, because I'm researching all these viewpoints and seeing what has gone and what hasn't gone. I've been talking to Laurie. I've been talking to Jim Boughton about this. And Indian Head has 4 viewpoints on there, and 2 of them are almost completely gone. The other 2 are okay. I would say okay. But I thought it was a fantastic day to hike. It was a little bit muggy. Luckily, I had wind on my side. I had some wind on my side. I met only 2 people throughout the whole freaking hike. 2 guys on their way up from the east doing the Devil's Path. 2 dudes, Isaac and Raymond. They were super cool, young kids. When he said, I'm a lifetime resident of Socrates, I looked at him, I go, 19 years? He's just like, and he starts laughing. He goes, oh yeah. He's like, that did sound a little weird. I'm just like, yeah, you're pretty young, man. Like, usually the 50-year-olds say that and stuff, like, but they were doing Devil's Path. Isaac said his pack was a little bit too heavy, but he's embracing the suck and he loves doing it. His first time doing Devil's Path, even though he's a lifetime Saugerties resident. It was good to introduce him to, they were very excited to know that there was a dedicated podcast to the Catskills. So it was, the trail's in fantastic shape. Once again, we're losing the viewpoints. On the way back down through the east, there was definitely a lot of mud. You go through those little areas, but it looks like the mud is a goddamn sand pit, but if you walk through it, it's not even like a quarter of an inch of mud. You can walk right on it. I took a video of it. I'm just like, just stop being pussies. You're hiking. You're halfway through the hike. It's going to fall off. Stop doing that. So other than that, beautiful day, nice trek, good old like 6-something miles, 6.5 miles or something. 1,600 feet of gain. I forgot on the backside when you do the loop and you're going counterclockwise that you have to go up that little part when you start on Devil's Path from the Platte Clove area that you got to go up more. So I was bitching and complaining about that. So I just sweat off a little bit more. But I also wanted to point out that a month ago, I haven't talked about this, but I got a new watch. My nephew got me a Garmin Fenix 8. So I was in the market for a new watch, and I was going to buy a cheap one because Jessica's watch broke. She wanted my watch. So I was like, I'll get a decent tracking watch. But my nephew's like, I have like 3 or 4 that I'm not using. And this one happens to be a Garmin Fenix, tracks perfectly. Like every stats are on point and everything like that. You can watch your GPS location. I didn't send you a picture. I was going to send you a picture, but at one point I looked down at my watch and it was showing me the map and I was 0.1 miles from the Devil's Path. And that's what it said. 0.11 miles from Devil's Path. And I was like, oh shit, that's cool. So, good thing is that there is a viewpoint still in Jimmy Dolan Notch. So that's good. So that one won't ever go away. So it's not even marked on the map. So that's cool.
Yeah. A lot of history up there in that area.
Yeah, it was a good hike. It was just beautiful, stunning.
What are you leaving out, Stosh? You did counterclockwise, you did that long schlep back from the Platte Cove area back to Rediger Road. What about the Nettles through there?
The only spot that I found like a little bit Nettles is like over on the east side when you like towards the end of the descent to the junction of Platte Clove Road and Devil's Path.
Yeah.
That was about it. It's very, very light throughout the whole freaking hike. It's nice. I mean, maybe up a little bit towards the top of Indian Head from the Predator Road. A little bit, but nothing to go crazy about. So
interesting.
Yeah, they're dying off.
Yeah, I don't remember there having been many over there, but just interesting to reconnect with the Nettles, if you will.
That's what we don't want to do.
Yeah.
So great hike. Once again, Isaac and Raymond, good to meet you, man. Hope you like the show. I told them that they're going to be on tonight's show, so I promised them, so they'll tune in. So once again, Catskill News Volunteer, New York, New Jersey Trail Conference, 3500 Club, Catskill Trail Crew, Catskill Mountains Club, Visitor Center, Jolly Rovers Trail Crew, Bramley Mountain Fire Tower, Forest Fire Lookout Association that we'll talk about tonight. And Laurie, are you looking for volunteers anywhere else?
Oh, yeah. Anywhere. We're always looking for volunteers.
Okay. Reach out to Laurie on any social media. We'll check it out. So how about we break it into the weather forecast?
Here is your weekend weather forecast. On Friday, August 14th, expect clear skies in the morning, move to possible rain showers in the afternoon, and clear at night. A high during the day of 63, a low at night of 54, and wind chills dipping down to 52 degrees. On Saturday looks to be the best day out to be hiking. It is going to be clear all day, and wind chills will be dipping down to only 52 degrees. The high will be 59, the low will be 55, and it will be a beautiful day to get out. Now on Sunday, the August 16th, we are expecting rain in the morning, afternoon, and night. Totals could be up to an inch and a half. Temperatures reaching up to 61 degrees at night, but staying steadily at 57 throughout the day. Wind chills will not be a factor, maybe reaching down to 52 degrees. So be out there with your water apparel, your windbreakers, whatever you can to keep away from this water on that Sunday, or just don't go out on Sunday and just come on over to the Bel Air Ski Center and say hi to me at the table wherever I'm at, and get an interview. Well, bring me a beer, whatever. Let's cup off some beers. But anyway, have a good weekend. Be safe, be prepared, and don't become tomorrow's rescue story. Let's go, guys.
All right. Well, thank you for that inaccurate weather forecast that we have in the Catskills, as always. Once again, I usually say it's going to be like 60-something degrees. It is wrong. So sorry about that. It's probably going to be like 85 degrees and sunny. So do not take that literally. So how about our last set of sponsors? And we'll get on to Laurie. So discover Camp Catskill in Tannersville, your ultimate hiking store. Find top quality gear, apparel, and accessories for all your outdoor adventures. Our expert staff is here to help every hiker from beginners to seasoned pros. We also carry a variety of unique Catskill souvenirs and gifts. Visit us online at campcatskill.co or in the store to gear up for your next journey. Adventure starts at Camp Catskill. Also, embark on a transformative journey with Another Summit. Another Summit is dedicated to serving veterans and first responders with free outdoor activities. Activities like walks in nature, paddling, hiking, and even backpacking. Join our supportive community to rejuvenate in nature's embrace. Experience camaraderie, adventure, and healing at no cost. Take your next step with Another Summit and ascend to new heights of resilience and joy. Apply today on anothersummit.org. All right, so let's get on to the guest of the night.
Let's go.
I found out I have to do that really quick to match the little intro that I had to do. So I have to do that really quick. So Laurie, you're the first one, like always. Awesome. So Laurie, thank you for joining us tonight. Laurie Rankin joins us from the Fire Tower Lookout. Oh my God, sorry, Laurie. Forest Fire Lookout Association. Forgive me. So that is not just based in New York State. It is based all around the United States. She is a part of something that is massive across the United States, that just like not about the little fire towers we have here, but ones they have 10,000, 12,000 feet over in Oregon, California stuff, all over the place. But Laurie joins us tonight to talk about some updates with the fire tower in the Catskills, some problems that we're having in the Catskills with the fire towers, and what else is going on in the Catskills with the fire towers that we can look forward to and stuff. So great to have you on again, Laurie.
Well, thanks for having me. I can always talk fire towers.
You can always talk Catskills, Laurie. Like you and Tom are, damn, I can't, I look forward to retiring. I mean, you are busy as heck. You're not just, like, we can let a little bit of background, you're not just for the Forest Fire Lookout Association. You're also for the Adirondack 46ers, correct?
Yeah. I am finishing up my last year as past president.
Wow.
3 years as director, 3 years as vice president, 3 years as president, and 3 years as past president. But I will say that there are other things there that I absolutely love to do. One is the Trailhead Steward Program. One is the trail crew work that we do, which is really, really extensive up there in the Adirondacks. I just really believe, since retired, that part of my love for the outdoors is giving back to it. And so and it doesn't mean you don't hike either. By volunteering, gives you a reason to get out there. So
yeah, right.
In the Catskills, I have been involved with the Balsam Lake Fire Tower. I think something like 17 years.
Not even that. Or wait, your father was stationed at Bramley or Balsam Lake?
Balsam Lake. My dad was the observer there. Yeah, so I kind of grew up there. Tom and I, as I said, we love to hike. So aside from Catskill hiking, we are regular and winter 115ers. So we've done a lot of hiking in the Northeast. We also do state high pointing. I believe we're up to 37 state high points.
Wow.
And we do a little bit of birding. We did an unusual trip this past spring, going to Nebraska to witness the sandhill crane migration, which was tens of thousands of birds. The most, you can't even describe it. It was wonderful. And we have 10 grandkids.
Wow. Damn.
We work really hard.
That's legit.
Hanging out with them and taking them outdoors. So.
Yeah. Oh, God damn. So Laurie basically doesn't have a day of rest at all.
I sleep well at night.
Yeah. I mean, so now you were previously on episode 105 and 39, so Bramley Mountain, and then we're just talking in general about the fire towers.
Yes.
But still, like, you have been involved with the fire towers ever since, when was your dad stationed at 1960s, or correct?
No, he was actually stationed there from 57 to 72.
Wow. So you've been involved with the fire towers since you were born.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. So what can you tell us about that? What is your first experience of going up to the fire tower?
So I remember things that were just all about the outdoors. So I remember hearing a bird, which as an adult I learned was the white-throated sparrow, but I always knew we were getting close to the tower when I would hear that bird sing, and to me it was the tower bird. One of the things that we did was we flew paper airplanes out of the fire tower, off the fire tower, and out of the cab, and of course we had to retrieve them. Oftentimes one flight would, take 2 hours of our time to try to find it and get it back, So, yeah, there's lots of really good things.
Wow. No, it's amazing to have, once again, that involvement in the Catskills and just nature in general since that young age till now, of where you're pouring your heart and soul out for these mountains, just not here, but in the Adirondacks as well and stuff. So kudos to you and Tom for doing your hard work, for keeping our places. Once again, as we heard earlier in the show, like your volunteering just makes an impact. Just Balsam Lake Fire Tower, they got to admit, that's a lot of people's first time, besides Red Hill, their first time fire tower, because it's super easy from any direction. It's super easy, it's super fun, and it offers one of those views. So, like, you guys probably get a good amount of visitors.
We do, and we also get a lot of those first timers and a lot of young people. I mean, children can manage that hike. And it was an unusual day if we don't have an infant that's being carried up and, an older sibling, maybe 3 or 4 years old, that they've hiked it themselves. So.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy that, once again, you're getting all these people, and we've seen of course, boost since COVID, of course, since social media. I mean, you've said you've been involved with Balsam Lake Mountain for 17 years, so the increase has got to be absolutely insane, dramatic.
It is. It is. We did see quite a shift actually in 2019, which was the first year of the Catskill Fire Tower Challenge, and then of course in 2020. That was just amazing number of people. And it went back down. We're kind of holding steady now for a full steward day, somewhere in the mid-40s for our steward time from 10 to 4 on a Saturday or Sunday.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
So Laurie, tell us about the FFLA. It almost sounds like a European Soccer Association with all those F's, but the Forest Fire Lookout Association. Tell us what that's about and what it does and what your role with the FFLA is.
Sure. So it's an all-volunteer organization. It was formed in 1990. A group of people who love fire towers got together in Pennsylvania, and they said, let's really make this formal. And they put together the bylaws and the rules and regulations. Membership cost $5.
Wow!
Wow!
Damn.
And that was 1990, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And the mission is to research the history of fire towers and to educate folks about that history, and to support actual fire detection still, because in many states and Canada and Australia, we do actually have people who are still manning fire towers. We also do some interpretation and other things. But those are the main missions. And of course, in some places, they're called lookouts. Here in the Northeast in New York State, we call them towers. So I am the New York State Director. We have different chapters throughout the United States. Some of them, for example, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island are one chapter, of course, because they're smaller states. But many of the chapters are extremely busy, and New York State is one of the busiest. Our membership, I believe, is third or fourth in the nation. And we are blessed with just a ton of volunteers, and we are currently, as of this year, we are doing 6 steward programs around New York State, and we hold VSAs for, I believe, 13 fire towers. Maybe it's 15 now. And that's the volunteer service agreement with either New York State or New York State Parks to not just do steward programs, but to do maintenance both on the trails and on the fire towers and the cabins.
So how responsive is the DEC or the State Parks Association to the FFLA?
Some places across the state, they're just amazing. They are fantastic to work with. I will send a concern that a steward brought up over the weekend on a Monday morning, and it will be addressed and taken care of by Tuesday morning.
Wow.
As a general rule, we have a really nice working relationship with the DEC.
And does that hold true in the Catskills?
Not as much in the Catskills.
Why is that?
Well, we do not hold any agreements in the Catskills. So in the Catskills, we are just simply supporting what is already there. As we do with any other fire tower around the state, we try to provide technical assistance, support, training, historical information, whatever we might be able to do. And we try to be a voice for whatever fire tower needs a voice. So, for example, in the Catskills, we were talking earlier about views. Mount Tremper does not have a...
That's the one I left out.
Yeah. Mount Tremper doesn't have a steward group, and their view shed is really, really closing in.
Yeah.
And so we have been talking to the DEC and saying, hey, the unit management plan says you should maintain the view shed. And thus far it's fallen on deaf ears.
Do you literally mean deaf ears? They haven't gotten back to you? You're like the official organization, and you're a national organization. You're not just a bunch of like people working out of their basements or their garage, right? You're a legit organization.
Yeah.
And the DEC hasn't responded to your requests regarding opening up the view shed for Mount Tremper, the fire tower. Wow. Isn't that crazy, Stosh?
Laurie and I have been talking to each other about this, I don't know, for how many years? 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
How I was just like, we were both like, wow, this is like the treetops are hitting the bottom, not hitting, but coming in close with the bottom of the windows. Like, and how tall is that tower? That's only that's a small one.
I think it's a 45 footer.
45 footer, but that's crazy because that offers a insane view of the Burroughs Range, and then up there you got the Hunter and Devil's Path. But to have a fire tower lose its viewpoint, like that's especially one that's on a challenge.
Yes.
A big challenge is promoted by New York State. It's just a big that's
yeah. And I don't know if you knew, excuse me, but there was a beautiful viewpoint at the base of the fire tower that looked right out on the Devil's Path. That was absolutely gorgeous. There is no sign of that anymore.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I had no clue of that.
You have a beautiful, healthy forest because that fire tower protected that area for so many years, and now it's kind of overtaking the fire tower.
Wow. Now, Yeah. So, I mean, we talk about the woes. Let's, how many fire towers with you involved in the FFLA are there in the New York State region?
I think in New York State we have 72 standing towers right now.
Wow. Cool. That's awesome. I mean, like you don't have to. Once again, they're all over the place. I know there's a couple in the Finger Lakes, one up towards Oneonta that is sitting on just top of a little tiny bump. Like they're all over the place. You gotta look for them. You gotta do your research.
Yeah, we maintain a website, nysffla.org, and we have all of the fire towers listed, whether they are standing or whether they have been removed, whether they are open to the public or whether they are private. So people can find that information quite easily. It's a searchable list.
I'll have that in the show notes. How many are accessible to the public?
I'm sorry, I don't have that answer.
Okay.
In my head.
Okay, just curious.
Majority of them are, but there are certainly some which are private.
Correct. I know there's one that didn't they recently, somebody had one like transferred or something down to the Ashokan area. Somebody like flew it down there and then like propped it up and has it down in the Ashokan part.
Yeah, and I'm not unaware of that. That's kind of an interesting thing.
So there is one. It was the old Petersburg, which was in Schoharie County, and it kind of got taken down, moved around to a few different places. It ended up in somebody's field, and a gentleman who does live very close to the Ashokan Reservoir went and picked all of the parts out of the field and all of the nuts and the bolts, and he put it back up on his property. And that is listed on our website. It's the the Night Fire Tower. And he will, with permission, if you give him a call, be happy to show you his tower. Wow. He does not have a fully enclosed cab up the top. He left it as an open observation platform, and it's got a really nice view.
So you could base jump off it if you wanted to.
With his permission.
with a few hard ciders and, yeah.
I mean, those open tops are different. Those are fun because they have a lot of those up in Vermont and New Hampshire. So those are fun.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know about that. So maybe I'll get a hold of him and we'll have him talk about that on the show. What was his name again?
So it's Night, Barry Night. But it's listed on the website as the Night Tower, KNIGHT.
And his phone number is 518-999-1212.
Everybody call him. It's going to be Graham Mountain all over again.
Yeah.
So now with this, we have the Fire Tower Challenge. Like how deep are you guys involved with the famous Fire Tower Challenge? Once again, you said it's taken a big boom ever since COVID.
So let me ask, which Fire Tower Challenge are you talking about?
I mean, the Catskills. We have 5, and now we have 7.
Yes. So the Catskill Fire Tower Challenge was developed by New York State DEC. When the CAG, the Catskill Advisory Group, was meeting, I believe the language that they used was that the fire towers could handle a large group of people, larger numbers of people, because the roads were hardened Jeep roads, and there would be less environmental impact. I'm not sure that I entirely agree with that because, as you know, many of the fire towers have more than one trail, and they were hardened fire tower roads a long time ago. Many of them have not been maintained as a road since the 70s. The one change there might be Hunter, because they did improve that after they got a $250,000 grant from after Irene, and Overlook is also utilized by communications equipment people. But there are certainly other trails to most of the fire towers, and other trails were created. So I'm not sure about the impact. And I also feel like if you're going to encourage people to come and visit that, you need to make sure that the towers are in good condition and the trails are in good condition.
Was that the at the time when they introduced it? How do you think the trails and fire tower conditions were at the time? Like we had, of course, I remember Tremper didn't have like some of the windows were crazily done. There was a little bit misleading information on Red Hill because the parking area was crazy. So
yeah, the DEC did make some changes and improvements. At Hunter, as I said, they improved the road. Hunter also had a significant grant so that they could paint the fire tower. Region 4 of the DEC is responsible for Hunter, and they do a fantastic job of taking care of and maintaining the observer's cabin. It's had a new roof, new siding, it had foundation work, it has a new porch, it has new windows, new doors. They were up there last fall. Gosh, it was so cold, but they were going to finish their work.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of depends. They also did work on the Becker Hollow trailhead parking area. At Mount Tremper, they did create a new trail, the one that comes off of Jessup Road, and a parking area there. And out at Red Hill, of course, they created a new trail and a new parking area there. At Overlook, they created 2 new trails and a new parking area. So they have seen some improvements. Balsam Lake, they have done none of the above. So they are not, they have not, I'll say, spread the wealth evenly.
Yeah. I mean, sorry. I just you say that Jessup Road. I suggest everybody go up that way to Mount Tremper because it's one of the most fantastic. Besides a couple other trails, that is a fantastic way to get up Tremper. Nice, smooth, easy, just beautiful hike. So everybody stop going from that one part of 214. I think it's 214. It's and the Wittenberg. Yeah. Go up Jessup Road. So once again, sorry. Go ahead, Tad. Sorry.
Sure. So before we move on to Balsam Lake Fire Tower and the deficit in spending or no spending that's occurred over there, let's talk about just briefly, if you want, the fire tower lighting that's coming up in September. I know Stosh hits on it. But what's it all about? I mean, other than they shine lights or something on these fire towers, what would be your case for somebody who lives in Long Island or somebody who lives down in New Jersey or even the Hudson Valley? Why should they hop in their car and drive 2 to 4 hours up to the Catskills to watch the lighting of the fire towers?
This will be our 13th year, Tad, of doing this. And the whole premise was that there were a lot of people 13 years ago who were saying, why was this fire tower here? And we weren't seeing the major fires that we are seeing across the United States and even across in Europe. And so people were really puzzled as to why fire towers were there. And we really wanted to showcase the way that fire towers protected the local community, the homes, the businesses, and the forests. And we thought a good way of doing that was to put lots of information out around the community and ask people to look up and see a light come on at the top of the mountain at a certain time on a certain date and remember who served there. And that first year, it was just a Catskills program. It was initiated by Doug Hamilton from the Red Hill Fire Tower.
Nice.
And it got rave reviews, and nobody was going to pick it up. So the FFLA picked it up and have carried on with it. And now we do it statewide. As of earlier today, we have 30 fire towers participating thus far for this year. And I will tell you, some of the most moving stories have come out of this. One of the best photographs I got was of an older gentleman sitting in a lawn chair alongside Route 28. in the Adirondacks. He had spent a great deal of his life at Snowy Mountain Fire Tower, and he could see the tower from that roadside place. And so his family members brought him there so he could see that light come on. And that was just the most beautiful picture of this man. And there was no light in the picture at all, but it was this man having those memories and that opportunity to see the tower again. We have also added the reading of the people who served in the fire towers as part of the lighting. So at 8:30 on Saturday night, September 5th, weather permitting, the tower lights will come on, and people will read the observers' names. The light will stay on for a half an hour. We are this year allowing, if an illuminator wishes to have them keep the light on till 9:30. We are not doing it as a hiking event. We do not organize hikes for people to go to the mountain and look at the tower. That was not our original premise, and I assure you there's a lot of work behind the scenes to put this together, and if we have organized hikes, oh my.
Yeah.
So we keep with the original premise. We have wonderful community support. We have people who have dinner and the lighting. We have dessert and the lighting. There may be something for Bramley we're in the works of that will be happening in Bloomville, where you can look right up and see the tower. We have horse-drawn carriage rides in one place to get to the lighting. So there's the communities have really grabbed a hold of this and taken off with it.
So, if I wanted to hike up to a fire tower on the 5th, I could do that.
Sure, you can. If it's a public tower, sure you can. Nobody's going to stop you from doing that. Yeah.
So you guys just don't sponsor or organize the hikes, but if an individual or a group wanted to make their way up there, they could do that. So I guess the next question, not as obvious, is where should we go in the Catskills if we don't want to hike up to a fire tower per se, but we want a great spot to view the fire towers, whether it's hiking up another mountain, Stosh mentioned earlier, Giant Ledge. But what are some of the other great spots? You mentioned a fellow up in the Adirondacks on 28, but where would you recommend people go in the Catskills to check out the towers?
To try to answer that question, on our website, you will find a lighting button. You'll click on that and lighting of 2026. And we've done two things. If we have someone who has told us there is a great location, like alongside a road, so for Hunter, for Overlook, for Balsam Lake, you will find some hints for roadside places where people can look up. But the other thing that we've done is we put in a link to Hey, What's That, which is like Peak Finder. And then you can reverse engineer. So if you look at, for example, Balsam Lake, and it says you can see Bel Air Mountain, and it's 8 air miles away. If you go to Bel Air, you can see Balsam Lake. And so we have those links there for every tower that is lighting. So we try to provide as much information as we can. We can't for every one of the towers because I'd love it if I could spend my whole time going out there and looking around, but I can't.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's, I mean, a lot of people, I remember last year or something, people saying, pulling over on the side of the road of an overlook on like Route 9 or something like that. You can see Overlook and Utziantha or something. Like there's a lot of like pull-offs that you can get to see at least one or two. Yes.
We actually have some people who make a contest out of driving around as fast as they can from point A to point B to see as many towers as they can rather than staying stationary.
Wow.
People kind of take these things and run with it.
Yeah, it's I remember
for us it's a good opportunity.
was that? Go ahead. You.
Go ahead.
So
I was
there's.
just going to say, for us, it's a really good opportunity to speak to people about what the FFLA is and about fire tower histories. You know, we do some really nice interviews, like here. This time of year, it really is good.
Yeah, it's great once again to have someone up there to once again pass along the history of this and stuff. You know, once a lot of people don't know the history of the fire towers, and if there's first time visiting, they get a 360-degree view, so it gets them hooked. And then also, like, having a steward up there is so great to get them even more hooked. To say, like, because they just, you know, they'll follow with the history, and then they'll go into a deep rabbit hole of, you know, what else is out there, and then they'll complete the fire tower challenge, which is 7 fire towers, and then they'll start the 3,500s and stuff, and be like, oh wow, you know. With that, I have for the fire lighting of the fire towers events, there's once again a bunch of different places. We talked about Bel Air, Giant Ledge, you can see 3. I'm pretty sure Slide you can see 2, maybe 3. Overlook, Tremper, and Hunter.
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure you can see Tremper from Slide. I believe it's hidden a little bit
By Panther. Oh yeah.
Westkill, you have really good view. You can get the Buckridge Lookout. Indian Head looks over at Overlook. Peekamoose has 2 or 3. So yeah, there's a lot of options.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options. So yeah, so good. So that's really good. So now let's throw the dog poop at the fan. And Laurie, we have been talking about this for quite a few years.
Yeah.
The Balsam Lake Fire Tower. When did that go into decommission to when people couldn't view it? When we talk about what year?
So 1972, when my dad left, he was the last full-time observer there. After that, they hired people seasonally for when there was high fire danger.
Now, when was it with the woes that are happening with the volunteering and stuff like that, with the decaying of the floors and stuff, when was that last time you could actually enter the cabin?
Okay, so that's the observer's cabin. Not
Observer's
the fire
cabin. Sorry.
Yeah. So at Balsam Lake, the observer's cabin is a very integral part of the educational program that we have there. As you know, there are no ground views if people are not comfortable climbing the tower. They don't get a view. The observer's cabin was made into a museum many years ago. The Catskill Fire Tower project started in 1996. Balsam Lake reopened in 2000. The fire tower, and then the cabin the following year. So what happened was in 2019, DEC shared an inspection, a building inspection with me that said that the floor supports needed to be repaired. And that inspection was done in July of 2019, and to date, in August of 2026, there have been no repairs yet. And so we kept using the cabin for a bit of time, but as the floors became softer and softer, it was unsafe. And eventually the cabin was closed to both the public and to the steward use. Does that answer your question?
Definitely. Okay. So since 2019, we've had problems with this.
Yeah.
And you've brought this up probably every event you could actually possibly done. Like the CAG. You know, I can remember when I was in with the club, the Catskill 3500 Club as second vice president, you bring in this up and the impacts that it was having towards the people visiting and stuff, and the fire tower, kind of like the impact of the amount of people coming up. And It's been going on for that long?
It has.
Oh, wow.
It has. As I said, it was 2019 when there was an official concern, and there has been no repairs made, no emergency stabilization, and if there is a plan in place, it has not been shared with me as to what's going to happen going forward.
Wow.
So as it stands, Laurie, is it fair to say then, well, let's start with, did the DEC tell you folks, the FFLA, no more entry or access to the observer's cabin? Did the DEC shut it down because of their concerns?
They did at some point in time, but I had already for years expressed my concern before they took that step. And I should quantify that my role has been as a volunteer at Balsam Lake, and I have been the volunteer coordinator since 2005. No, 2005 I was a volunteer. 2000 and I'm terrible with dates. I wrote it down. 2010, I started becoming the volunteer coordinator, and as such, we maintain that cabin museum, which the UMP clearly states on page 13. Stabilize the cabin for potential use by staff, used for emergency situations, search and rescue and fire management, staff the tower for summer months by volunteers or interns to provide interpretation and security. So that's been there for a long time, but again, nothing has been done repair-wise. Finally, it rose to the occasion that it was impacting the number of volunteers we had because they were not feeling safe going into the cabin. Visitors could no longer visit the cabin. So our educational program was markedly changed. Our volunteers, as both of you know, you've been there, the summit of Balsam Lake is over 3,700 feet. It can be very nice in the valley and very stormy on top. And if we have volunteers in the past that would have a thunderstorm roll through or heavy downpours, they could go in the cabin. When it passed, they could come back out, greet the public again. Now they have no place to go except the privy when something like that happens.
Yeah.
Well, then.
So even going to the lean-to doesn't work because the lean-to leaks so badly that you can't stay dry in the lean-to either.
Plus, it's quite a hike down to the lean-to.
Yeah, right.
The fire tower.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So we just don't really understand why the hesitation on fixing things. I've done several letter writing campaigns. I have spoken to local officials. I actually had in 2022, I actually had a licensed contractor come and take a look. He put together a report, a condition assessment regarding the floor. He gave us a materials list. I went and obtained 3 estimates for the materials. I gave all of this to the DEC, and nothing happened.
So, Laurie, in 2022, what were the numbers you were talking about on these estimates, materials and labor?
Just for the material estimates, the highest estimate was $6,600, and the lowest one was $2,100.
And in terms of what was the labor cost on that?
This was just materials.
Okay. And did you have any idea what the labor would be? This is replacing floor joists. Is that what we have going on?
Yes,
here?
sir. Yes.
So we don't have any foundation damage.
Not at that time. No.
Do we have foundation damage now? Is it progressed because of neglect?
I haven't seen any report. I know that the DEC did do an engineering report last fall, and I was told that The report indicates an extensive amount of rehabilitation will be necessary, but what that is, I do not know because they did not share the report with me.
Yeah. So have you foiled that from the DEC?
I have not.
No. I'm going to put that on my list. I'm going to foil
Yeah,
it from
Tad's
the
good at
DEC.
that.
Got my own account with them.
Tad is going to be your second-hand man on this. So now, Laurie, you said it was like maximum cost $6,600. Now, remember you sharing some information saying that the DEC had a different cost. What was that cost?
So at a meeting this spring with the DEC, we were told between $600,000 and $800,000.
Did they say why it was so much? Is it because they're flying the material up with helicopters, or
they did not give any indication as to where those numbers came from?
Wow.
And the footprint for the building is 16 feet by 27 feet, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, the helicopter ride is expensive, but so is the Catskill Clove unit management plan that was $600,000 that I could have done myself.
How about the Blue Hole?
The Blue Hole.
Money have they spent there?
Yeah.
But then the cabin, that maybe will spark 20 interest, 20 little kids' interest of the Catskills, and maybe influence them into forest rangers in the future, that they could go in and see this amazing history that has been in the Catskills. But no, they won't do anything for that. So
yeah.
I would like to add that the cabin and the fire tower are both on the National Historic Register, and the UMP actually says that on page 3, Balsam Lake is a historical resource that will be preserved. It says on page 36, it's a conforming structure, Balsam Lake, 1 tower and cabin on the side.
And cabin.
So we are talking about a historical place, the site of the oldest fire tower in the state of New York. We are talking about the educational program that is there. One thing that just happened, so the DEC is apparently cleaning out the observer's cabin right now. I don't know if that means they're going to preserve it or if that means they have plans to take it down. I don't know. But I was asked to come to the Catskill Visitor Center on the 30th of July to help sort out items from the cabin, because they didn't know what belonged to the DEC and what belonged to the Catskill Fire Tower project. One of the items was an Indian tank. I don't know if either of you are familiar with what that is.
For firefighting.
That's correct.
That is. Yeah.
For wildland firefighting, the Indian company in Utica, New York, built these metal tanks with straps on them, backpack straps.
Yeah, it was like a backpack.
So you can carry water to a fire.
Yeah, had a hose and a metal like wand, and you would pump it up to get some pressure, and you could spray it. It's kind of like a glorified, a garden or lawn spraying device. The tank was made out of galvanized steel, as I remember.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm old enough to remember those things.
We call it a giant super soaker.
Yeah.
But part of our educational program is to take every opportunity we have to provide interpretive historical information and education. And it's a very unusual looking item. So we have that either in the cabin or out in the clearing. And we had that full of water. Our volunteers would go to the spring, fill it full of water, 40 pounds.
Wow.
Carry it up. And then we would have a visitor who would say, "What is that?" And it would give you an excellent opportunity to share the history, to talk about fire prevention. And we would let them, we have little laminated flame so they could squirt water and put the fire out. And adults and children alike loved it.
Yeah.
Well,
would they get like a stuffed animal if they hit the flame?
No, we have Smokey Bear frisbees and tattoos, and we have all kinds of stuff like that.
So if the DEC were to hand the FFLA the keys to the cabin tomorrow, Does the FFLA have the resources to put together the volunteers, the fundraising, and what it takes to repair, restore, rehabilitate the observer's cabin?
Because I have not seen what the latest report is, I can't 100% answer that, but I would 95% answer that and say yes. We have lots of resources at our disposal. The Catskill Fire Tower Project has been taking donations since 1996. There are funds there. There are certainly grant funds for historic preservation, for education and stewardship that are available. And we have many, many volunteers who have asked what they can do to help.
Has the FFLA undertaken a project like this before?
We have done several different things, nothing structural in terms of like if there is something that has to be done foundation-wise.
But you guys have like put up like Sterling Fire Tower and stuff like that. Like all these different places have erected in the past 5 years that it's just been like pretty crazy. It's been amazing. It's nothing like an observer cabin, but still it's a big impact.
Yeah, we've done on a volunteer basis, we've done several fire tower restoration projects where we are redoing the stairs and redoing the landings on the fire towers. We
freaking Bramley.
Bramley
Mountain, a whole new fire tower
there. Yeah. So I am sure we have some resources and expertise that we could get our hands on.
So, but Laurie, is it fair to say that if the DEC turned over their engineer report and whatever other relevant information they have regarding the condition of the observer's cabin and what the indicated repair and rehabilitation is, I mean, it's fair to say it sounds like the FFLA is an organization with enough organizational structure and control that you would be able to look at that material and you could decide whether or not you wanted to go forward or not. You're not just going to send some people up there tomorrow and start demolishing or doing demo work without knowing the full scope of what you're getting into. Am I right?
That's correct. But I will also say the DEC is unlikely to allow, like I suggested, I could get an engineer up there to look at that in the past.
But the DEC won't let you do it?
No, it had to be an engineer engineers had to submit bids. They had to go through a bidding process. They spend a lot of time with we can't because.
Yeah.
Spend a lot of time and money.
Yeah. So this is my question. Where is the Catskill Center on this? What have they done? What should they be doing? Are they doing all you think they can do? What's the Catskill Center's position?
I really haven't seen the Catskill Center do anything regarding this. Yeah, I guess that would be a question for Jeff Fennerman. Because I really haven't seen them up there. They were storing items because they they managed the Catskill Fire Tower project. They were storing items at the Catskill Visitor Center. But sadly, their staff really didn't know what a lot of the items were. That we had these educational pieces there, like the Indian tank. They didn't know what part of the educational piece that was. And
I mean, I could have looked at that and known what it was.
Yeah, you would have.
So now, with this, as we kind of move on with the observer cabin, it's kind of a big deal once again because it's historic, it's educational, and once again it brings interest into the Catskills. So now, with all this going on, is there any way to take it up to like another level? Can we go above state because it's national historic, right? Like, how would we be able to bring it up another notch and to tell? I hate to say this. I like to have good positive relationships, but tell the DEC to fuck off. Let's go up and bring this above another level, and we can get this going.
So I did speak with the state historic preservation officer, and they moved it back to what they called the cultural resource officer at Region 3. I don't know who that person is. They did not know their name. They just told me to,
Region and if we go over this, like a lot of people, that are deep in the Catskills knows that Region 4 is the most like taken care of. It's beautiful, stuff like that. But every other region kind of like gets neglected besides the Blue Hole and stuff. Like it kind of sucks. Like, we have this historic place located up 3,700 feet that brings you to a beautiful view of the Western Catskills. And it's decaying. And then there are like people like, oh, I want to check out. You have the Overlook area, the Overlook cabin that shows you snake skin and former tools of firefighting and stuff like that. And that's cool. But they won't restore this one up on Balsam Lake. That's pretty weird.
Yeah, we have the same firefighting tools. We actually have snake skins up there. We have a kid's touch board up there. We have, we just had all kinds of educational things there.
So what's a touch board? We had bear hair. We had porcupine quills.
Oh, that's a little.
Snake skins, things like that children can actually touch, and we encourage them to touch.
Yeah.
And so that they don't go out in nature and try there. It's a controlled environment, and it gives us an opportunity to talk about, forest fires prevent harm to these animals and other pieces. Yeah.
So on that touch board, you of course have mountain lion hair, don't you?
Oh yes. Okay. As a matter of fact, we also had, one of the things we had in the cabin is we had a lot of Smokey Bear posters. Smokey Bear being a national campaign, on the mammal poster there was a mountain lion, and it was often a question that adults would ask us about how many mountain lions we had seen.
Wow. Let me show you right over there is where the rehabilitation project is beginning on that tower. Let me show you, kids.
The old radio tower. So, Laurie, when's the last time you were in the observer's cabin?
I don't know. Well, I was in there last year because as of last year, we were still able to open the door, slide our gear inside the door. We couldn't go inside, but we could slide our gear inside the door.
And that's like a pop-up tent and like chairs and stuff, right?
Oh, well, we had the table. We had the Indian tank. We had a canopy for, some kind of protection from the elements. We did have, we had a box, where we could store our Smokey Bear stuff like that, etc. All of that was whatever we could put right inside the door. But now it's all locked up. And
so when you were in there last year, what was the condition like?
I did not go in. I didn't go in. And I will tell you, Tad, the last time I was in there, the floors was getting really soft.
Yeah. So is there any evidence of like water infiltration into the building from the roof?
No.
Any other? No?
No, the roof is sound.
Okay.
The problem is, and according to the that contractor, he felt the cause was during past renovations, the basement vents and windows were boarded up, which did not allow for adequate ventilation, and it caused moisture buildup and eventual deterioration of the floor system.
Gotcha. So it's rotting from the inside out, from underneath is where the rot is, from lack of air circulation, lack of venting. Sounds like a project for Sean Iannucci, frankly, because he's got a background he's got a background in building inspection. So we'll have to fly him down,
Sean,
to check this out.
All right.
So one of the things you mentioned that this is on the National Register, not only the fire tower itself, but the associated structures, the cabin, the privy, even the Jeep Road are part of the elements. And when the DEC sits back and crosses their hands and takes this do nothing approach. It's kind of like demolishing the building by neglect, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're bringing up a bulldozer to knock it down. It's not like they're putting a torch to it to get rid of it, in a couple days. But by sitting back, you said the report came out in 1990 or 2019,
Yes.
right? So the report now is 7 years. For 7 years, they haven't done anything. You
No.
can't go into the building anymore. Eventually, the floor is going to fall in. The floor presumably is part of the support for the foundation walls to keep them from folding in. And it's just going to start crumbling down. And then eventually, this level of neglect reaches the point where the DEC can say that it's an attractive nuisance or hazard to people. And we need to get rid of it because they're going to come in and get hurt. Somebody's going to walk in, climb in, whatever, to go in, check it out. And now it's an attractive nuisance. We need to demolish it. And it's a shame because, as you point out, it's on the list already. It's not like you guys are trying to run out and put it on the list of historic places. And it was the first in the state of New York, right?
Yeah, it's the site of the very first fire tower. There was a wooden tower put up there in 1886.
So why is it, you mentioned earlier that the cabin, the observer's cabin on Hunter, got a complete makeover? I think they even have cameras on it now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not wrong. Yeah. There's cameras there.
Fucking flock cameras.
Yeah. You can flock me on Hunter anytime you want. Okay, so why is it Hunter got the complete makeover, but Balsam Lake got overlooked?
I wish I knew the answer to that. I know there is different leadership from region to region across the DEC. My letters to the Region 3 DEC regional director have been answered with form letters.
Wow.
I have not had a direct phone conversation with her. I was able to have a phone conversation with, oh gosh, I forget her title now. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew.
Yeah, that's that's sad. Do you think like if so this big if, so if the DEC were to approve of like volunteers and us doing stuff like they did with like Bramley Mountain, and there was a whole different jurisdiction and stuff like that, do you think they would let you use the road going up to bring supplies up to the gate, and then we'd have to haul it up ourselves? Do you think they'd approve of that, or do you think they'd be like, hell no? Or do you think like Tad and I could suffice enough money to get a helicopter to bring supplies up? Do you think they would approve of that, or do you think they'd be like, hell no, New York State's got to do this, we got to get paid?
I really don't know. I do know that there was in the volunteer service agreement with permission and option for us to if we needed supplies to bring them up on the road. There's nothing in there about bringing things in by air, so I don't know.
Whoops.
Generally, in years past, when we had to bring supplies, so for example, the rolls of wire for the safety wire along the staircases, 9 times out of 10, Tom and I would sled that gear up, that kind of stuff up in the winter time. We had pulks, and we would pulk them up because it's way easier than trying to carry it. Even if we were able to drive to the gate, it was way easier than having to hand carry. So we would pull stuff up all the time.
That's how they got the hemlock bark out of the woods in the winter.
Yeah.
So bring it down on sleds.
Yeah. We did have a donation of lumber for the fire tower to replace the landings and stairs. And we used the road to bring that to the gate, and then we had to hand carry all that lumber up, and it was quite a chore.
Sure. Wow.
Wow. When was that?
I'm not certain. Maybe 2014, 15, something like
Wow.
that.
Oh, yeah. So that was a while. That was before kind of like social media and stuff like that took a big boom. So,
Yeah.
like I would seriously take a day off to do this kind of stuff. I would love to do that. So, if anybody that's listening to this episode right now has a helicopter and wants to drop off some sort of supplies like 4x4s or something like that, don't get a hold of me, don't get a hold of Laurie, or don't get a hold of Tad, and don't talk about it. We'll get a hold of it. But I mean, we have the woes with the fire towers in Region 3. We can go on and on about this, but let's talk about the positives of the fire towers. So we might have some rumors of some new fire towers being introduced to either the challenge or just the fire towers in general. Can you chat about this?
Sure. So Rock Rift is a standing fire tower in Delaware County. It's owned by the town of Tompkins, and it is on New York City DEP property, just as Bramley Mountain was on New York City DEP property. And the town of Tompkins and the FFLA worked together last year, and we redid all of the stairs and the landings on this fire tower, which has been abandoned for years.
Wow.
We had support from the New York City DEP. Anything we wanted, the town of Tompkins had it there. They were awesome. And this year, we are looking at having some contractors come in for the work at the cab level. We have to have some window replacements. There's a roof panel that needs to be replaced. And so they want to have somebody who, of course, is certified to be in harness and safely can do that. But we are hoping, it's a very real possibility, that that tower will be able to be reopened this year. There is a bit of a narrow window based upon easement to get supplies in there. So it will see whether we can get it all done before that occurs.
Now, the history on that, so we're over in the Rock Rift. This is this the Cannonsville Reservoir?
It does overlook the Cannonsville Reservoir. However, interestingly enough, from the cab, you cannot see the reservoir. It's really interesting because it's just such a steep sides that the reservoir is buried in the bottom and you cannot see it. At least not when the leaves are on. I haven't been there when the leaves were off in the cab, but...
Tad, did you know about this? Are you familiar with this?
No, I'm not familiar with it, but it's not surprising that you can't see the reservoir because who cares? The reservoir is going to burn, right?
It's going to diminish, yeah, and then we're going to be able to see the towns again.
Yeah. One of our questions that we've been discussing is when we put a map table in there, whether it will be pre or post reservoir.
That's interesting.
Because the tower was there pre-reservoir.
Okay, wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. And then, I'm just once again, the historical information that goes along with the Rock Rift with pre-reservoir. So that means towns that were there before the reservoir was created that we can just put on that. That would be so cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Once again, the historical stuff just ignites a flame in me. So now with this Rock Rift, it's not open yet.
No.
What would be the hike going to it? What would be the...
So part of the hike is the Finger Lakes Trail goes right along the base of the fire tower. And so there's more than one opportunity to climb onto the Finger Lakes Trail and visit the fire tower. The shortest one, I think, is about 3 miles one way, and that comes off State Route 10 alongside the reservoir and does utilize part of the Finger Lakes Trail.
I did hear 12 miles one time.
It depends, again, where you want to access the Finger Lakes Trail. If you go all the way down by the bridge, then you're talking 6 miles one way. Yep.
Okay.
For Stosh, you can start where it ends or starts on Slide Mountain.
Yeah.
Where the Finger Lakes just randomly starts or ends
Yep.
on slide.
And they have that big, beautiful sign that they were able to put up there for no apparent reason. But yet the signs that we want to donate money to, they will never put up. Whatever. So that's cool. Once again, that's over western part of the Catskills. We're overlooking the beautiful bumps of the Catskills, and that'll be cool. What else is there? There's a rumor for another one, and I gotta admit, this Laurie is one of my favorite spots. It's very
It's a real gem. The Leonard Hill Forest out in Schoharie County. It is a drive-up opportunity. It would be a fully accessible site for people with access issues. However, I'll be doing a presentation on this actually on Monday night at the Conesville Historical Society. And while we've had some DEC feet dragging on it, and the latest, I spoke with her to try to, the forester, to try to get an update for this presentation I'm doing. And I will quote you what was said. So this is a restoration project that the scope of work, cost estimate, everything has been pre-approved back in 23. So this is the update. I spoke with operations at the start of this season about starting the Leonard Hill project this year. And I was told that we had already reached the limit on how many projects and how much money we can assign to our job order contracting system contractor in 1 year. However, I recently spoke with one of the central office engineers, and he asked about the status of the project. So I'm hoping I can line things up so that we can get this project in under the cap next year. I'm not sure what all that gobbledygook means, except to say that they're not going to do it this year. Let's. So that, but it is an approved project. I don't know why it's going so slowly, especially just a beautiful area out there, really gorgeous.
I visited that place. God, I don't know when. Had to be before COVID.
Okay.
And that was when the first 2 sets of stairs were gone.
Yes.
So I had to Spider-Man my way up to the 3rd set of stairs to get up to the cabin and to find the rolling hills of the Schoharie County area, Mount Pisgah, Richardson, Blackheads, Mount Lucianta, Morrisville Range, was just one of those like, oh shit, I didn't know this existed moments. Without, you got Mount U, which is amazing, but also has all these obstructed views of towers, cell phone towers and stuff. But then you got Leonard Hill Fire Tower, which is absolutely stunning stuff. The last time I went there, though, there was a white-faced hornet's nest up there, and I got stung 3 times.
Oops.
My friend who was from the Finger Lakes went up there, didn't get stung once, but I got stung, so I defended him and that. But I will admit, once again, I didn't know if that would be accessible by car up there, but it's a great road. We drove like halfway, 3/4 of the way up, and then hiked up because I wasn't sure of the road. But back in pre-COVID days, I drove my good old Prius up there, and it was nothing. So the state, the state did already make improvements to the road, but this project has been taking a while. The first time I visited with the DEC was back in 2008. So, wow,
it's been taking a while, and the road is actually growing back in a bit already.
It's a beautiful road. I got to admit, because it has a lot of wildflowers on the side and all the pines and stuff like that. And it's got that at the base, like not even a 1/4 mile off it, that has historic cemetery, right? That has like,
that's correct.
Like 1800s, like from the 1800s. It's crazy.
Yeah. And we have put in an application to have a steward program there. So the DEC is aware of our desire to do that, so that it will have an educational program and a presence.
Laurie, like, is there any way are we gonna, like with the FFLA, are you gonna like go legal with this? Like, is there any way or any thought of going a little bit, punching a little bit harder instead of?
So what we'd really like to do as the FFLA as an organization is we would really like to work with these
Correct.
state folks in a cooperative, collaborative manner to the same goal of having these fire towers and these educational programs available. We are not a rich organization, and if it comes to doing legal things, then you get into an awful lot of money. You get into an awful lot of human resources. So we would rather try our very best to work cooperatively. and unfortunately, if we're falling on deaf ears, I guess we have to look at other things, to other ways to put pressure on. But
so with this, the FFLA and stuff like that, like how is there a way that the listeners of the show, people like me and Ted, can like reach out to anybody and everybody to kind of push this as it go forward to help out?
So I would say, and I found the name, I'm sorry I had forgotten it, but Katie Petronis is in the Albany office of Lands and Forests. And you could certainly email her. I have her email address.
Yes, please.
It's KATHARINE dot PETRONIS at dec.ny.gov.
Okay.
And for Balsam Lake specifically, you could reach out to Katie, and you could also reach out to the Region 3 Regional Director, Kelly Turturro, and I have her address as well.
Okay, I will throw that in the show notes. Send me that later on. So
okay, we'll do.
I have a feeling, once again, a lot of the people on this that listen to the show are advocates of Mother Nature and of advocates of the fire towers and support you with your mission. And if they know you, they know that you are 100% in it for the Catskills, in it for nature and stuff. So that's what we want, right?
Yes. And I thank you for the opportunity to talk about these issues and perhaps get some more support.
Yeah. And that's what we're here for. I mean, once again, I hate to bash like different organizations and stuff like that, but we need to all to come together as one. And I've noticed this with the volunteering and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I haven't received any really proper training. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people I know since post-COVID era have just been like, here's your trail, have fun. And people like you and me will reach out and help them out. And Tad is out in the trail and just be like, don't touch this. This is a sacred oak tree that
I'll be out there with my Indian fire tank.
There you go.
Protecting
that'll be good on your shoulder.
Yeah.
That sounds like a new challenge, Tad. I think you
feel the pain. So, Laurie, why haven't you guys tried like a Move On petition, an online petition? You familiar with those?
I think more than anything, it's just the there's only so many of us, and we are spread thin already.
Gotcha.
Call.
And what about a letter writing campaign then to the state senator or state assembly person who has Balsam Lake Mountain in their legislative district?
I have done that. I have done that repeatedly. I've also done that with Leonard Hill to get that one moving. Mm-hmm. I have also spoken with local town supervisors because I feel strongly that we need to have local support.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. So what's the feedback from the local supervisor? Are they supportive of this? They just giving you lip service, or they? not into this at all? What do you mean? They're like,
I actually had a one-on-one personal meeting with the local town supervisor for Balsam Lake. It is the town of Hardenburg. It is a very small township.
yeah.
And I got lots of nodding and yes, and I heard nothing after. I did follow that up with a couple of more letters, but I heard nothing.
Yeah. When you say small township, it's, I think that the town hall is in somebody's garage. Did I really say that? That was kind of bad, but yeah. It's on or near Ryder Hollow, isn't it?
It's believable.
It is. That's where I had my meeting.
Oh, really? Wow.
There's a little maple syrup thing on the side. And
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. There's all the vacuum lines along the road out there.
Yeah.
So Laurie, if I know this, you're already doing an amazing amount of work, and we definitely, everybody appreciates it here. You and Tom, once again, if you could do, like, if you have that kind of like rough draft that we can all send, just copy and send. We can change our name, copy and send. We could have, people just keep pushing the pressure on New York State to do that as well. Send me that. Anybody who wants that, I will send that forward to you, and we can put the pressure on to have all the different areas that Laurie's looking into for conservation and stuff like that. We can kind of let's just all come together and unite to have this place restored as a national, like, just to say that, fucking national, and it's not been done. That's just so. But yeah, all right. So, last question. This is a good question. So we appreciate you having on the show, Laurie. Appreciate your hour and what are you got? I'm sitting on hour and it's like 20 minutes. Wow. What about your post hike brews and bites? You do views and brews. So what do you have suggested?
Well, I like to go to Brios in Phoenicia and get an order of curly garlic fries and probably a Westkill IPA.
That sounds good.
So you're a Westkill IPA. Where does the Catskill Brewery Devil's Path IPA rank in your taste profile?
I'll drink that too, but I prefer Westkill. I think Westkill has a little bit crisper.
Yeah.
Fresher taste to it.
Yeah. Is it one of the pine bitey? Because I've never had the Westkill IPA.
No. Well, they have several different varieties, so it kind of depends on what they have on tap at Brios.
Yeah. Okay. I've tried their stouts, but not their IPAs.
I like their stout too.
Oh, really? Yeah. I got to say, I like the Catskill Brewery Devil's Path because it's got that lingering bite to it that it's almost like. It says to you when you're that sip is lingering in your mouth, it says time for another.
Exactly. I mean, you know what else says time for another is that place that you talk about, Ted, in Phoenicia, that you
local
go to
goods?
The local goods.
Yeah.
You walk in there, time for another.
Are they still in business? It's been so long. Is Bread Alone still around? Right. Somebody told me they built 2 bridges over the West Branch. Is that true, or they were just pulling my leg?
They're pulling your leg. No. And Richie, I talked about it on the last show. That his kids even said, "Why the hell isn't there a bridge built over the Never Sink from Slide?"
Yeah.
I mean,
so I heard somebody told me there was like a gondola that goes over the West Branch now.
Well, if the gondola from the Panther Mountain falls, it'll probably create a bridge over the Westkill. We could just bring it over the Neversink.
So, all right. Well, maybe when I go hiking up there again, I can go into the observer's cabin.
That'll be the first spot we will go, Ted, on your initial hike.
I'll bring Laurie and Tom a IPA from Westkill.
200 people. When Tag gets back in the Catskills, it will be Slide Mountain. And we will do an inaugural hike of 200 people up the top of Slide Mountain.
Yeah, that sounds like a DEC violation. If we were to bring 200 people back, if we were to bring a group of 200 people back, and we were to do a hike in the Catskills as a group hike, it would have to be. And I know some of our listeners, our avid listeners, already know the answer to this. If we had 200, able-bodied hikers going back into the Catskills, it would be occupy South Double Top.
Correct. Actually. All right.
Right?
Now, okay. I got the
and we would bring kegs up like they were Indian fire tanks, right?
The kegs of Westkill.
Yeah.
Nice.
No other food or fluids. We just bring beer in a can.
Laurie and Tom are going to be in on this, and they're going to be totally in on this. So.
Yeah, we're going to build the cabin up there for us.
She's like, good God, get me out of this.
All right. We're off the rails.
All right. So, Laurie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Once again, anybody who is listening, it's still listening, let's support the Forest Fire Lookout Association, and let's support Laurie with her amazing efforts, and let's get the cabin restored and get other restoration projects going in the Catskills. Let's work together. So thank you for joining us, Laurie. We hope you had a good time, and thank you for all your work in the Catskills. It's a tremendous amount that we can't.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It really is. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. We all appreciate it.
Definitely. So have a good night. We'll hopefully see you in the future.
Okay, sounds good.
All the best to Tom.
Thanks. Yeah. We'll send it.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, I just want to thank you for listening to the show. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe and throw down a smooth review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any podcast platform that you use. You can also check daily updates of the podcast, hikes, hiking news, and local news on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the official website of the show. Remember this. You gotta just keep on living in the Catskills, man. Livin.
Wicked.